Front end loading washers. Well, as you know, my Washington D.C., Washington. Well, really, realistically, they made guns. They made trains. They might have even made tanks there, but they definitely made cannon at the Washington D.C. site where the White House is. In fact, there used to be a cannon. Like I said, the reason why it's cut out like that, why one floor is big and the other floor is way deep in there. Why it has that like little L? Is there used to be this giant cannon mounted in there, and the cannon had to be able to swing up and down and stuff like that. Long ago, when the place was new, when it was just a single story building or a little bit bigger than a single story building, I believe there used to be a big cannon mounted in there or something like that. I forget. It was a long time ago. It was like at least 400 years ago. Anyway, it was a cannon test site or something like that, and I don't really care anymore. It's like whatever. It was a long time ago when it used to be a military base and all that. Um, but um, but anyway, at the Washington site, at the Washington D.C. site later on, when we did the vacuum press concrete and built that concrete, and we had to use rebar that wouldn't rust, of course, like that. So I think that the rebar is something that won't rust or degrade, something like even brass corrodes after a while. It's hard to get something that doesn't corrode, but they might have used brass. I don't know. Anyway, though, but mostly it's expanding and corrosion of the metal. That's the problem. So anyway, I don't know. I don't really care anymore. And besides, I'll be long dead before it really matters. But the building's like old. Anyway, though, but they used to make Washington's washing machines there and stuff like that. The little hand scrubbers and the circle top washers. Anyway, though, but washing machines have been around since like even my submarines. If you're gonna do it like in 90 days at sea, you have to have some way of being able to wash the clothes. So anyway, and all that other stuff, using like the heat from the engine to heat up water and stuff like that. We used all those systems, and Germany was doing that, and blah blah. And it was hard to get, because the smell inside the submarines can get really bad from the people in there. It starts to smell like a kennel, because of all the bo. Yeah, one of the biggest complaints my military officers had was the smell inside the ships because all the men sweating and stuff like that. The smell becomes like stagnant, like you could cut it with a knife kind of style. So we tried washing all the clothes and stuff like that, but it was the men's bo. Yeah, it's a good bo, man. Where it started to smell like a kennel. Anyway, the antiperspirant was the cure for that, and sometime around 19 that's actually one of the more recent things it was antiperspirant deodorant for the men. Otherwise, very quickly you start to smell and you continue smelling. So, and lead was not an option. Some people said, let's use lead. I was like, no, that's heavy metal poisoning. You're not going to use lead. You have to use something else, like maybe, I don't know, zinc or something, but test it on animals first to make sure that you don't get a heavy metal poisoning from the deodorant, or something like that. Anyway, though, but they had to use some sort of metal, and I forget what they use exactly. But I mean, I don't really care. It's like, yes, we were looking for antiperspirant. But we've had front end loading washing machines for quite a while. But and actually, it was the top down loading washing machines with it that were a lot harder because it's a lot harder to balance. It's a lot easier. Anyway, whatever. It's a lot easier to balance on a circular thing than it is to balance straight up and down. But after years and years of research and stuff like that, we finally were able to do it. But anyway, and they worked very well. Anyway, whatever. It's all old stuff, but they made very good washing machines. But that's where Washington got its money. Washington D.C. is best known for, well, they made trains and even traction engines probably. But they made washing machines there and DC motors, and eventually later on converted over to AC motors because AC is more efficient. So anyway, and that's the history of Washington D.C. And I don't really care. It's like whatever. They're all gonna call me crazy anyway, and I just don't give a fuck. I'm Lucifer Star. After 100 trillion years or billions of years and being the leader of the Earth and quite a few other places, and leading my life forms, my 1.5 life forms, and my exoskeleton life forms, and even the human race because I created it. You know. Uh, I mean, I just, after all this time, it's like, a bunch of kids came along. It started out with John McCain and a bunch of other people, and it's like, I don't even care anymore. It's just so crazy that it's just like, these people lying, those people lying, trying to incriminate Germany, hiding everything else. It's like, you know, it was such a nightmare that I was just like, because I mean, I had to go back and look at it. I mean, we had to revisit everything and like search over everything to actually find out all the details and everything else like that. It kind of blindsided me in many ways. Anyway, though, but that's where all the motors come from. It's Washington D.C. Even Israel, even the Middle East knew about my Washington D.C. motors that were later on converted over to AC. And I just don't care anymore. It's like whatever. I don't care I don't even care what's true anymore. It's like I was searching down the truth, and we had and people were just fighting it even harder. Because those people who had lied so much and killed so much. Yeah, it didn't look like they had killed so many people, but later on, it came out that they really had. Certain people were just basically, grabbing women and raping them or doing whatever they wanted. Not even bothering to use drugs or anything to lure the women in. Like, it's very easy to just, provide a girl with drugs or money and, and she'll do certain things, blah, blah. But some people wanted to push it even farther than that, namely probably JFK or Nixon or someone. Anyway, and I don't really even care. Because it's just such a nightmare, and they were just so psychotic that it was just like, whatever. I just gave up. I was just like, you know what, I'm done. So anyway, though, but it's all been around for a while. There's nothing new. Not quite so much because I don't know how many washing machines there are, or drying machines or whatever. Front end loading washing machines or top down washing machines. Um, there are, but I mean, there there were a lot. Technically, Nixon and JFK just saw money, power, or whatever. I saw clean clothes. Like, I was just doing it for the clean clothes and providing a service to my people. So anyway, and I don't even care anymore. It's like whatever. Like, go hang yourself. Not you, them. Because they they were just so annoying, and it's just like, we built the White House, I own the White House, and I don't even care anymore. It's like whatever. Bunch of annoying people just wanted to do drugs and run around and be stupid and say stupid stuff, and that led to basically a bunch of people, and then eventually they started doing really crazy things like just shooting people just because. It's like, fuck you. And then other people had to kill those people. And then other people killed those people. It just became like this big nightmare of basically just like a kill fest, like some people didn't trust anyone, and I was just like, I'm out of here. Just so I was like, then for a while there I was like, I'm not getting down to earth. Forget it. Anyway, whatever. Humanity wanted to be crazy.